Hey everybody, Scorpion here. So we're going to take apart one of the older phones. This is digital, not rotary. So they say it's not digital like nowadays. But anyway, let's see what's in it.
Rock bottle on the track, boy.
Alright, so I've already loosened these two screws. Nothing but a big old plastic case there for the main part. You do have your handset here. And something that's neat about these have always come apart easy. So back in the day, you used to see in the movies and stuff, they'd unscrew the bottom. I say these always came off easy. Here I am, I can't get the bottom to come loose, but they'd unscrew the bottom in the movies, put a phone tap in there, screw it back on. Yeah, not quite that easy, but you know, that's how the movies used to show bugging phones. I might make something out of that. Let's set that aside. So, I mean, that's just shred. Those are going to be dirty brass. Or no, brass, clean brass. They're tiny, but it adds up. I don't think the screws are brass, but we'll test them and see. That'll be shred. Oh, what do you know? Screws are brass too. So there you go. A couple pieces of brass. First, a little bit of wire. Let's see what all we got in here. So these bells, brass, which is always quite interesting. And I'd say if you're like 20 or younger watching this, you've probably never seen one of these. But you might have. You might have. But when your phone would ring, these bells are what would make the sound to let you know that your phone was ringing. Of course, you got a little brass piece right here on something that looks like it's copper, but I doubt very seriously they put that on a copper wire. And yes, I know, I can hear some of y'all, that phone still works. Yeah, it does actually. But I've never opened one of this type up to actually see what's inside of it. So, this did come from in my house. This is actually my grandma and grandpa's. From back when I was a youngster. So you got that's the coil that would magnetize and cause this to go back and forth to ring those bells. So that's pretty neat. pull that right off of there, and that's a nice roll of copper. All this is just shred. This piece looks like it just kind of slides right in there. That's a magnet. So let's see. Yeah, so that's magnetized. That piece is magnetized, but none of this is. So we can clip that right off of there. Toss that in with the brass. So none of those are brass. This is your handset when you set your handset down. So you've got a relay box right here that opens and closes contacts when that goes up and down. So ooh, that screw would go all the way to China. See if this will reach it. Just pushed it back in. Alright then, that's fine. We'll get to it somewhere else. So this is your dial pad. Again, brass end on that. There we go. So that's your phone cord where you plug the phone line up from outside. so this has gold ends in it. This has gold pins in it. You got all this wire all the way back to these. I keep messing with small stuff like this, I'm gonna have to go get me some glasses. Ooh. Alright, so let's cut that off because that was brass. And all the rest of this is wire. So that goes in the wire bag. Alright, so this is it's kind of got little pins that go through it. This should all pull apart pretty easy. Oh yeah, there we go. That's actually plastic. 2 little plastic tubes. That's kind of neat. Alright, so this looks like copper with silver contactors. That is definitely brass. I say definitely brass. Yep, definitely brass. This is your spacers that went between. They're actually insulators. So you ended up with all this. And then all this. Yep. So each one of these have those little silver tips on the end. So you can cut the tips off, drop them in to get that silver off of later. This is probably, actually, let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to say that's red brass. So, that's not copper. So, back to the dial pad here. As old as this is, I would think it's got some type of silver in there for contact. But this is back when they built stuff. This is those phones that doubles as a weapon. Somebody breaks in your house, you can throw it at them because it's going to hurt. Smack them upside the head. Whatever you need to do to get the job done. Phones nowadays won't even put a knot on their head. But that's the difference in how stuff was made. Back in the day, it was made to last. And nowadays it's made to fail after a certain period of time so they can charge you to buy another one. So, ooh, would you look at that? Gold, baby. So there's gold in there underneath that pad. Now who would have expected that? I would have thought silver, but not gold. There's aluminum foil. And that's it for that. So yeah. So are they worth taking apart? I would say so. It's got a nice little bit of gold there, a little bit of wire. So I'm going to put that with my gold stuff. with the wire. We've got a nice sized crystal oscillator right here and a decent sized IC chip. The rest of that I'll just toss over into the shred. We have this piece still to finish taking apart. It's actually got a little clip here. So that's quite heavy. Of course, this is going to shred. On here, I would say these are probably brass. They're definitely not magnetic. They didn't normally make stuff out of aluminum back then. It's strong enough, it's probably brass. So you can pull all those off and drop them into the brass. You have the, I mean, if you wanted to, you could pull everything off the board. All these are going to be brass too. Remember, you do have to separate your different colors of brass. So you have to scratch and see what color's underneath that silver coating on there. So you know what to put it in. And we have a transformer on here. Now these are the old capacitor. These might have tantalum in them or something. I don't remember. I'll have to check on those. These two, these are the dipped ones. And you've got the transformer you can pull off and throw into your motors. So personally, I think that was a pretty neat little item to take apart. Pretty nice little score. Not going to get rich, but that gold says it all. And that's, I mean, technically that's a low quality board. It's brown on the back side, but that is gold on this side. And it's pretty thick. So got a nice little bit of brass out of it. Some yellow brass and some red brass. We got gold. Here's the red brass with the silver tips on it. We'll have to cut off. It's a decent little amount. We've got this and we've got this. Oh, and let's not forget this. That's got quite a bit of weight to it. So tell me, how many of those have you thrown away? Leave it in the comments.